It's going to be completely safe because it's all lit up and there's nothing that could possibly
Mm-hmm.
go wrong as one goes running into here. And hey, look, here's a skull and some redstone. So let's be distracted by that and not
Yeah.
notice
Oh, look at all
this.
these colors, and this is just such a dark block. Is so hard to see. So it's
Yeah,
even.
that's that was great. I'm glad I fell in it. I'm glad I
Mhm.
lived, but I'm glad I fell in it because I deserved to fall in it. It's a good trap.
Yeah. If
Ah,
I'm if I was really mean, what I would do is break all the blocks on the side here and put lava there as well, so you can't place blocks anywhere. So it's literally you're falling down and you can't do anything about it.
that would be very mean. Um,
Unless of course you break a block like really quickly, like you
yeah, if
break
you
one
manage to
block
break
and
it on the
then
side, if you realize
then
you're falling and manage to place a block underneath you as you're falling, if you have a water bucket on you at this point, which is definitely a possibility, um, and yeah, or if you're playing two player like Cleo and No Leaf Clover, and Clover fell in one of these traps at the entrance to Dungeon 5, and while he was in the cobweb, Cleo came in and dug him out of the side.
hmm, actually I haven't seen that
Oh,
yet.
okay. Spoilers. Sorry.
Let's see that. So spoilers. Oh, you just deprived me of some fun. How do you feel now, meanie?
Ah,
um.
good trap.
Kids actually in Goliath where they used to be like this, so there
Yeah,
was
where there's no
no.
space.
And there was basically the cobwebs were only there to hide the lava sound, so you wouldn't hear the lava for a
Oh,
distance. And, and I wasn't really back then. I wasn't really thinking about all the players slowly going to die now, and it's basically an agony.
I see. Yeah, the slowness of it
And
is part of the miracle of it.
I remember Kid when he fell in one and he quickly just swapped two blocks and he actually managed to just fall like this,
Hmm.
like really quickly.
Yeah, and I guess also the cobwebs, like if you have ender pearls, the cobwebs give you more of a chance to realize you're
Hmm.
falling and then aim your cursor carefully and throw an ender pearl. Um,
Yeah,
so that's another, yeah.
that
I think in general,
that would
having the
also work
cobwebs above the
actually.
lava, like a block above, or extra block above, like you do or whatever, is nice because it gives the player time. It gives the player a little bit of an option to try to save themselves a number of ways. And it
Yeah, and
also
if
gives them a moment to reflect on how silly they are that they just fell in a hole that was here.
and if you have like iron armor, for instance, lava isn't that super dangerous. I think I
I
need to
didn't
actually
think
go down.
that armor
Um,
affected lava. I thought it was only protection or fire protection.
Lava gets affected, but I think the fire damage doesn't. But when I, like, for instance,
Okay.
I say I fall in a trap right now. It's one hard, one hard, one hard, one hard. I could do something like this,
Okay.
and then my stuff would fall in a safe space. So it's not always.
Is your iron armor taking durability damage?
Yes,
Okay.
it took
I didn't
10.
realize that. I was thinking that, yeah, lava did not affect durability and was not cut down by flat armor, but it is. Okay, that's important to
I
know.
have one heart left right now, so you could. So that's a little bit longer, and I would have died.
Right. But even if you died, if you managed to box yourself in, then your items hopefully would explode
Yes.
inside the little box and they'd be retrievable.
Yes, but this would only apply. This will be easily applied if the lava's one thick. So
Right,
I would
right,
have to keep that in mind.
right.
But it does feel more mean now that I've just straight up plunged you into lava instead of putting cobwebs and saving you, kind of.
Where?
If that makes sense. Like with this trap, I put cobwebs so you could
Right,
actually. You have more time to actually place blocks before you
right.
hit the lava. But with this one, you instantly hit the lava.
But what you're saying this one, but what trap? Like, is there a place where?
This I haven't used this like just straight up lava
Okay,
anywhere. But
okay.
if I
If
use
you did,
this later on instead of just using
right.
cobwebs, yeah,
Yeah.
now
Okay.
it's a pretty little floor.
Right, and that was the final journal. Okay. And I guess the redstone here is just supposed to look like blood. It didn't even occur to me to possibly take it as a, there could be a secret hidden here kind of thing.
It
Um,
wasn't. Did so many people Did some people think like that?
I don't know. It
Oh.
only occurred to me to possibly think about it just now because it reminded me a little bit of kind of some of the shrub patterns right at the beginning with the first
Mhm.
Infernizer Island. But I was happy for the redstone because I hadn't found the Cave of Riches with the
Redstone.
redstone yet anyway, and so that was potential potion ingredient.
These are only 7, so it's not enough for the block. But there's some redstone later on you can use.
Right. And yeah, then the typical render thing of here's a little balcony where you can get an overview of the giant area before you actually start the area.
And while you're doing that, you're spawning, you're activating my new custom spawners.
I see. So what was the
So
range on them?
these spawners spawn from 64 blocks away,
Okay, that would have been my guess. Yep.
and they spawn. The most common mob spawn is zombies, then creepers and spiders, and then the most rarest is are skeletons.
Okay.
And the idea is basically that they can be used instead of natural spawns.
Right.
So if the area like this one is really big, so the spawns are less dense, I could use these spawners
Mm-hmm.
to kind of make up for that. And the nice things about this one is they have they have a really low limit on how many mobs there can be around. So let me see what it's actually currently on. Currently, it's prepping up for spawning a creeper, but there's a creeper right here, so it's not spawning it. So
Oh,
if
interesting.
this creeper
So,
is dead,
uh-huh.
or if it wanders away too far, then it should spawn somewhere. I think this one is too close as well.
So you might get kind of lucky, and it'll kind of like turn itself off for a bit, but it also is going to make it very
That
likely that you're going to
means
have a wide variety of mobs.
there are a lot of mobs around. If it turns off,
Well,
then
it
it
shouldn't
already
if it
has
did a creeper and then it happened to choose a creeper again the second time.
there's a limit of 2, I think, and it only spawns 1 at a time or 2.
Right. It seems like it could
So
possibly throttle
2.
itself if it gets lucky or unlucky, depending upon how you look at it.
Yeah, like now it doesn't spawn for a while
Right. And actually, yeah, knowing
until
that, like in the future now, like I could try to box in 2 creepers next to the spawner and I wouldn't even have to break the spawner. It would be turned off.
I could just vary up the amount of mobs. Well, that would mean there are just more mobs around, I guess. I think they're good for the way they are right now. Because look at all the mobs they have already spawned
Oh,
on
yeah. I mean,
right
it
now.
spawned lots. And yeah, I mean, obviously, this is the first area. I originally thought when I came in here, I don't remember, I think I said it in the video, and I think that's when I was thinking it, is basically I came in here and I saw a skeleton like way over there or something. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh, I bet when I opened the gate, now skeletons naturally spawn. Because
Mhm.
there'd just been the boom, and I opened the gate, and now it seemed like things are different. But I discovered,
No.
later on that it was that. Um,
Yeah, that wasn't the idea. I
right.
could have probably done that where I enabled skeletons.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't have been bad to turn them off later, or to just like in the dark red desert, like not no longer auto kill them, like in this corner of the map, this quadrant or whatever.
Yeah, or just when you get a certain amount of rules, that
You could
would
do it
also
that
be a
way
thing
too.
because after a while you get kind of established,
Right.
and then at that point, when I know the player is established well, I could start to up the difficulty.
Right. Yeah. So any of
Bring
those
on
would
the
have been
pain.
reasonable, but it was okay the way that it was as well. And I did feel like I remember when I was coming through here that this was kind of like this is the tutorial for here is a new type of spawner. It's going to be encased and look like this, and that's how you know where to find it, and it spawns multiple types of mobs.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought you actually kind of did a decent job of that, but I was just pointing out that, yeah, anytime you do something unusual with spawners, not everybody's going to understand.
Yeah, it's not always the most clear on how it works. Like I could have put this like a blank room where you would see them spawn differently, but it's like I kind of like to integrate it more into the actual area
Right,
instead of being all separate.
right. Yeah, you tried to introduce mobs back in, I think in Corona Trials, when you were like going up the long hallway into the last intersection.
Mm-hmm.
It was where you first did like the, I don't remember if it was the race of the evokers or something.
Yeah, there were charge creepers in there. There were those evokers in there, which were new,
Right.
and there were the curse skeletons with the like
Oh,
the
they gave you
particle
the
clowns around their
effects.
feet.
Right.
I'm kind
And
of
yeah,
surprised actually they didn't push
unfortunately, due
those
to
to
the
this
fact
map.
that that was so kind of like enclosed in its own safe area, like I got to see what the mobs looked like, but I didn't get a chance to like
Mm-hmm.
interact with their effects because it was one of those things of okay, I spawned them, I ran away, I shot them with arrows, and I killed the spawner.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
sometimes too enclosed.
right. I almost
Could be
feel
a
like
problem
yeah,
as well.
if you want to fully tutorialize the area, like you need like
Give out two of them at once.
I was gonna say just like teleport the player into a separate area, and they have like resistance and 40 hearts of health or something, and they can
Yeah.
like play around with it or whatever in like a safe environment, so that they're encouraged to
Mm-hmm.
like actually take the attacks to see what they do or something,
Mm-hmm.
or have a bestiary where after you kill a mob, you get an advancement, and you go to the advancement tabs, and like maybe there's some text written there, or like it
I
kills
think
kills it and gives you a little book that like you can read about the mob or something.
I think it's also a case of knowing the threats, not just knowing the difficulty of the threat. Like you know that they came from this spawner,
Ah.
and that's all you get to know for now. Go ahead and deal with it with whatever you find in here.
Mm.
And I think you instead of knowing
Yeah,
precisely what it does, it's
yeah.
kind of
The surprise
interesting and more
of
fun and
yeah,
maybe more challenging
yeah.
on actually discovering what precisely they do.
Right. I have a tendency to want to know all of the details of mechanics of things, but
Hmm.
sometimes there is joy and fun in the not knowing as well, and so that's important.
I think it's a good, as a map maker, you need to find like a good mixture,
Yeah.
like showing what is the threat, but not showing what the threat precisely is.
Right. So yeah, then apart from that, basically there's resource areas, there's mobs, there's various chests which have a number of nice things in them. There's more of these spawners hidden around. The gas spawner, I remember I used an ender pearl to get to one of them just to come over and break it really quick. Because at this point I've been saving up ender pearls throughout the map, and so it was finally time to start using them. Magma cubes.
The first place where you would get magma cubes or
Yep.
fire resist potions.
Um, yeah, oh, fire resist potions. So are there no slimes in the map? Do you kill slimes? Or are you just
Um,
never low enough for them to spawn?
yeah, never low enough.
Okay.
Well, no, no, no. Yeah, they do spawn. They do. If you actually take the time, in Dodge Flame, they spawn there.
Okay. So it was possible to get fire resist before then,
Yeah,
but
I
it's just
saw
very
some in my
unlikely.
test. Yeah. Mhm.
Right. Over in this wall on where I am over here, the diamond is kind of like encased in.
Yeah, this was. I thought this was the first one people would notice.
I see.
So I thought that I would need to make it clear in between all the ore, like, hey, look at me,
I
I'm
see.
shiny,
Unfortunately,
I'm
when you come in
blue.
the room, you're coming kind of like down this way, and so you're kind of like looking this way to the right sooner, and so
Yeah, I
I've only
mean,
seen a couple people or whatever, but they've gone to the right first rather than the left first.
yeah, it doesn't matter too much,
Yeah,
as
but
people will
either
notice
way,
them here as well.
and also yeah, I mean diamond like it's a color that kind of jumps out. I feel like, and
Hmm.
so people are gonna see it. So something I didn't realize is that the soul sand is like waterfalls basically that have turned into soul sand.
That's precisely how I placed them down as well. It's
Right.
like this cave is slowly getting filled with this soul sand, and that's
Hmm.
basically the grave of this dragon. That's
Got
where the
it.
name comes from, Dragon's Exile.
Right. And so, since I didn't realize it was a waterfall, I never came up here to find the other water
The
buckets
second, wait, let me actually kill the first source, and then you can get the bucket out of the
and get this hidden achievement.
yeah. Let me see. So the oases. So this one is now dead.
All right.
So if I TP to you, you can get the you can get it now. I think it should trigger.
It's not
Oh, it
trigger.
doesn't?
And is it
Man,
because
I'm great at this.
is it the same player? Like, is it a scoreboard that's on one player that has? Well,
It's a good question how I actually did this.
That's how I am with command blocks for such things as well.
The way no, it's not this. Let me go to the spawn chunks real quick.
All right, but in any case, there'd be an advancement if you managed to get rid of the water source over at the oasis and also take this water bucket out of the chest. And so while you're checking that out...
Oh. Huh, okay. Apparently this thing is bugged. It's good that it's a secret advancement.
Right. There we go.
Yeah,
Unlimited power.
Apparently there was redstone missing. Literally unplayable.
Wow.
Wow, that's actually kind of funny.
That is pretty funny.
Apparently I didn't test it well.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully with 113, there'll be more functions and fewer command blocks, maybe. I don't know. So if you want to teleport back to me, I am up in the corner, and I did come up here. And there's another one of these blaze spawner traps, which are a lot of fun.
Yeah, the ceiling traps.
And
this is more of a scare one, because there's not enough TNT to actually be dangerous.
I see. All right, fair enough.
Because you can see it only hit here.
Yeah.
Like
it did only shoot, yeah, like
here.
1 or 2 little pieces out or whatever. But yeah, I came up here, and I mean, there were some more diamonds, but I was kind of surprised that there wasn't more up here. I haven't looked around the whole place to know if there's other crazy ledges.
There are a few of these caves. There's one here, and if you follow me, there's one up here.
Oh, wow.
And you can find this one from the small fall
right
here, which is kind of this small ledge.
Got it. Yeah, I kind of came part of the way up here, but not all the way up there.
Yeah, I don't expect many people to see it from here, but if you look up, you can see the light from here.
Right. And are they all just resource areas, or are there any hidden chests or anything? Is it just more diamonds?
There are resource areas.
Okay. And I guess this one's also, yeah, it's like the top of the waterfall, and so, yeah. All right. And then, right, there was this chest that I never came up to that had Mithril Pickaxe, Efficiency 2, Unbreaking 2, Fortune 2.
Yeah, Fortune 2 is good for the diamonds.
Right. You hadn't already used Fortune 3.
And then, yeah, this area is mainly a resource area as well.
Yeah,
that was its first intention. The wool came later when I added the dragon in the middle.
I see.
And it's basically just this prep for the final area where at least you have unlimited iron, or quote unquote unlimited iron.
So there were the hidden zombie spawners underneath the soul sand, kind of down at the bottom, that just added an extra threat if you ended up falling off the back of the dragon or whatever.
Yeah, the idea was you're not supposed to go down here, and it was the idea of the book as well. So I hit these spawners, quite a few of them.
Right.
Like several layers in the soul sand. So
they don't even, yeah, you can't even necessarily see the particles coming out of all of them.
So I was hoping like the spawners underneath the soul sand would deter players from going up here, because it's just such a hassle to find them all.
Yeah, and it did. So that works. More food. Various ways that you kind of approach the dragon's skull. But yeah, I came through up here, and I think Preox and Travel Dog also came through up here, and I made some fire resist potions. I think maybe they did as well for getting over here. And yeah, with the fire resist, it was still dangerous, but it was relatively straightforward to get through most of this. The wool was kind of a little bit hidden in his skull, and I guess I went down in the mouth part first. I remember there was a blaze spawner in the ceiling again. Yeah, that one.
And
some nice boots.
Yeah, some really nice diamond boots. These the way the wool is kind of hidden. Like there's a gas spawn right here that would always kind of get your attention, and
Uh-huh.
also the flaming eye would get your attention
Right.
to investigate this place.
And this
So
also,
while it is kind of hidden and out of the way, I think most people, like almost everybody, will eventually find this.
yeah, I think, yeah, it's in the obvious place or whatever. Like the place is called the Dragon's Exile. It's the giant skull of the dragon. Um, and yeah, it harkens back to Grave of the Dragon from Kaizo Caverns,
Hmm.
where it's very similar kind of thing, where basically the wool was just kind of like embedded in the. I don't remember if it was in the skull. It was kind of like in the side of his head in that one or whatever.
I don't remember really where it was actually.
Um,
Only I
but
remember that it's hard to find.
yeah, it was, yeah, Zisto was tunneling all around the dragon and finally noticed it in the side, like eyeball near the skull or something.
Mhm. I like how most people, and it's kind of not clear that this is a dragon at first when you come
Right,
in. So it's slowly as you go through, you see the stone, and you're like, wait, what's the stone actually supposed to be?
right,
I saw somebody who was like, I don't remember who it was. It could have been you. Was like, oh, it kind of looks like bones, and then later they saw the actual whole skull, and they were like, oh, this is a gigantic something,
right.
gigantic skeleton.
Yeah, I don't think I appreciated the way his hand is kind of like gripping over on the side over here. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, kind of
This
detached.
this is a kind of a Chinese dragon, so it's a really long dragon without any
Right,
wings.
long and yeah,
You can see the back legs are right near the entrance of the area, kind of buried. Like this is one of
oh
the
yeah,
legs.
okay. Helps having the night vision and being able to fly around and just kind of like see it from any
Yeah,
perspective.
and I explicitly chose to use stone instead of bone blocks to make it more of a you have to find out that it's a skeleton instead of it actually being the material of a skeleton.
Okay.
So it takes more time to actually see what it is
Right. It
as you
also adds
discover it.
the kind of at least briefly existential threat that there's going to be silverfish in here. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I think I've seen a couple people punch at the block before they go after it.
Hmm. I think there was a cheaty bow somewhere.
Yeah, the prankster is back over on the right of the entrance.
Yeah, the prankster, infinity mending. You cannot get that on a bow normally because it's
Right.
either or infinity or mending.
But
So
yeah,
I
again,
think
my
that's
thesis on that is a bow with Unbreaking 3 already gives you like 1,000 infinity shots or something, and so you're never going to use it up
mhm,
anyway. And if you do, you can just repair it 6 times, so you could probably get
yeah.
like 10,000 shots out of it or something, so
Yep.
it's
But I
handy.
just I like things you can't normally get or
Yeah.
just
I
good
mean,
loot in
the
general.
Infernizer. The Infernizer. Like, I so want to be able to put knockback on
Fire and
uh,
TNT.
a
On a
flint and steel in survival now. Like, I want to petition Mojang to like make that be
it's it's
uh,
so fun, right?
a thing that you can do. I'm totally gonna
I
do that
don't
for exploration and tactics. I'm gonna like have this on chest. I won't give it the mending because that would be kind of OP, but flint
Yeah.
and steel with knockback too. I definitely want that.
Hmm. I kind of want to put it in my next map, but my next map is like a sky map, so it's like knockback. It's like game over. It's like,
Mm,
oh
yeah.
hey there, creeper, bye creeper.
Every mob is
Next.
defeated by knockback too. Yeah.
Hmm. It's super effective.
I guess you could give all the mobs knockback resistance, but then it defeats the point of having a knockback weapon. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and we had a few more of those resource caves. Yeah, there's one right here.
yeah. The one down with the blazes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then there was one right near here. This one is really hidden, and I have to see this one.
Oh yeah, I never saw this one. Okay.
This one
Okay.
is really out of the way.
Yeah. All right. So if you needed more diamonds, there were places to get them.
I think there are 40 or 32 diamond ore total in this area.
I see.
I have this weird habit of doing it all in in numbers of 8.
I see. Okay.
Probably because of furnace and stuff, like with iron ore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's not something I've ever had to think about, I guess.
Before we trigger this,
I can't remember if I triggered this or if it had already somehow triggered by the time I got here.
I can't see why it would trigger.
I can't see why it would trigger either, but I just remember being surprised when it triggered on Preox, so maybe it's just my own faulty memory.
And I put like an obsidian.
Right.
I put obsidian below it so it goes wider and less downward.
Right.
I don't know if it doesn't help that much. Yeah, this is all the TNT. I don't really use that much TNT anymore these days. Like I don't throw like half a stack in there.
I see. Well, yeah, I mean, it's big enough. It's basically, yeah. It gives you the scare if you don't immediately react to it, especially in the soul sand. If you don't immediately react to it, you're not going to be able to escape the blast radius.
You can see I put 3, so because I expect players to either run this way, because there's this big safety right over here, or this way. So I put more TNT.
Gotcha, on the outside, so they'll have some explosions, kind of chasing them in those directions.
I could probably do something like this if I wanted to make it more evil.
Alright, I'm gonna set it off. Ready?
Sure. Let's have a blast. Bye bye, blazes. Hasta la vista.
Yeah, adding the more TNT really did do a lot, actually, there. Yeah, and it kind of blows open a hole back over to the dragon.
Yeah, I might start using a bit more again.
And then there's this hallway, which I thought looked really scary and thought for sure it was going to be a trap.
That's precisely what it's meant to be. Like, you have all these mobs and these hordes you have to fight, and then you get to this chest, all lit up the hallway, and it's just silent.
I think I got thrown off slightly because there was a spider that spawned, like, right here.
Yeah, 1 or 2 mobs can still spawn here.
Right. Yeah. But then there's the same Infernizer, there's all this good loot.
Just throwing all this stuff at you, like, are you ready?
And then, and that also kind of threw me off, because it says Palace of Ordeal, you've got the Ender Chest. As a sign, the last tool are in here, good luck, you're going to need it. I thought the button was a teleporter, like with all the, like, it's like gear up and get ready to go, and you're not coming back kind of thing.
Yeah, that wasn't too clear. And it's also not clear that this is kind of like a vault door.
Right, it's a really cool door. I've never seen one quite like this before. Actually, if you wouldn't mind, would you... Oops, I was going to go from the other side. Yeah, press the button so people can just see all the pistons. It's really pistons doing all this.
So, how I thought about it, you just stay there. I thought about this was, oh yeah, single player, you can't press the button quick enough. Because if you press it and then run, it will close like in your face.
Right.
So players won't see it from behind.
You forgot about multiplayer.
Well, I just didn't want to do it.
I see.
It's basically my point.
But yeah, it looks.
And this was already hard to set up. Like if you go into spectator mode.
Okay.
My totally original design, totally original. I'm bad at redstone. This is just one of those things you just YouTube tutorials.
Right. But yeah, that's a nice schematic. And I suppose
I like the big reveal of like a door. You have this door, and then it's like, what's going to be behind it? And it opens in a really fancy way, and then you see what's behind it.
Right.
And basically, a door gives anticipation of what's behind it.
Right. But yeah, it has to look enough like a door that I realize it's a door, I guess.
And then you get the big reveal.
Dum dum dum.
Dum dum dum. And then, if I was really evil, I could have put like monster closet right here.
That would be really mean.
Creeper would see you.
If you want people to look at your pretty stuff, then you can't kill them while they're trying to look at your pretty stuff.
I was actually showing this to a friend, and he was like, "Oh, you totally need to put like a creeper spawn or something here." And yeah, if I want to show something to the player, then it needs to be safe.
Right. You could put the creeper spawner like right when they start going down the stairs or something if you want to be mean.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, over here, this is just for the looks. The
Yes.
Palace of Ordeal.